it's interesting because there's certain places on Earth that you can really feel the earth, sense the earth speaking to you. And what's interesting to me is El Lugar is one of those places. It's like you cannot avoid the energy of the earth when you're at El Lugar. And I remember going there the first time and driving into the property, you know, and seeing it. I'm like, this is so beautiful. And it was funny because they're like, yeah, that's the ugly part of the property, said Claudia. I'm like, oh, this is the ugly part. Okay. And then we went on lot 2 and went horseback riding. And I was like, oh my God, we must have this place. And at the same time, I had all kinds of points of view that I had to have the money in the bank. Otherwise, I would not participate. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go gather money, you know, and what I realized was the land is like, just say yes, and I will contribute. It's like if you could have a piece of land that had the beauty of the energy that the earth contributes to us all the time. It's like El Lugar was like, you'll find a way, just say yes. And so I want to say that to you all because it's something I learned from the earth. It's something I learned from El Lugar. And it's like we make so many of our decisions based on the thing that we think we have to overcome in order to have something, rather than the joy of co-creating it and actualizing it in the world. Because everything that we do is a co-creation. It's a co-creation with consciousness. It's a co-creation with other people. In this case, it's a dynamic co-creation with the earth. And so your creative energy, Earth's creative energy, or in this case, your creative energy, El Lugar's creative energy, which that and the earth are very similar. It's just you can sort of identify this a little easier because it's a little smaller than the whole earth size-wise. They go together, and those together actualize a different reality. And you all know, I mean, you know, you're here because you heard the call. You're here because you have a sense that there is something different possible. And for me personally, I'd love to invite you to something that has shown up just in the last few weeks, which is this gentle and potent space of communion and connection with Earth. It started by perceiving a few things simultaneously. It started by perceiving my body differently and realizing I actually am an infinite being with a body. And when I be with my body, with its brilliance and its awareness, I'm not limiting myself. I'm actually expanding what I have the capacity for on a physical level and an energetic level. And then I was out running in this different space, and I looked at the trees and I was like, oh my God, hello, infinite beings with tree bodies. And they were like, hi. I mean, it was this communication that has been so much more intense. And some of you may have noticed that the ease of accessing that sweetness, that kindness, that gentleness, that gratitude, that joy that the earth is, and if you haven't noticed, that's fine. Notice now, you know, never too late to start. But I've noticed it becoming way more available, and it's created this thing where the quality of every moment is different, and where it's more peaceful, more joyful, less resistance, less fight, less need to have a problem, way more like, and I'm just getting started, I feel, you know, but it's way more like my sense of how the earth is. You know, the earth doesn't fight against, the earth doesn't have a problem to overcome. The earth is like, hi, I'm here. And you can acknowledge or not, but I'm here. But it'd be really nice if you acknowledge that I'm here and received. And one of the gifts I'd like to put into your world of what is actually, but one of the gifts I'd like to give you that for you to be able to choose every day if you do is, one of the things that I started asking, because I used to ask a lot of times, Earth, what do you require from me today? And I would get this sort of energy, but it never felt big enough. It didn't feel like the kindness and the gentleness and the joy and the spaciousness of the earth. It didn't really change. It didn't change my vibe very much. But I was like, Earth, I'm willing to contribute whatever I can. And so then I started asking, instead of Earth, what do you require? I started asking every day, Earth, what can I contribute to you today? So let's all ask right now. Just ask for you individually first, okay? And just get a sense of whatever shift in energy or space or whatever it is that occurs for you. And by the way, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. But just ask for you, like, Earth, what can I contribute to you today? And I'm asking too. And it's interesting because as I do that, my hands want to go out like this, because it's like every time I ask that almost, and it's different every time slightly too, but every time I feel this inflow of energy, and then my space gets bigger and I get less contracted, and I'm like, Earth, what can I contribute to you today? As though contribution is a one-way flow. It's not. It's a simultaneity of gifting and receiving. And when you have that in your awareness of Earth, what can I contribute? What you end up getting is the awareness that a lot of what you can contribute is actually receiving the gift that it's here being all the time, that almost 8 billion people ignore. Even the spiritual ones, even the tree huggers, even the, like all these people who supposedly, so we see quote unquote normal people who don't even realize the earth exists. It's just here for them to consume. And then we have these other people that we somehow think must be greater than us in our connection. The people that are out living with elephants and dolphins, and they have a certain level of connection. But even a lot of the quote unquote environmentalists are missing the most fundamental thing, which is this question and the response the earth gives, which is, Earth, what can I contribute to you today? Okay. And so what I noticed is it goes like this. So now let's ask as a group. Okay. We got 300 and some of us. Let's ask as a group, Earth, what can we together contribute to you today? Oh, that's a little different. See, that's the gift of more of us.